Coming up right now, a partygoer takes one for the team during her friend's gender reveal party, and it was all caught on camera.
Also coming up, a woman indulged her dog with an all-expenses-paid vacation to a European destination, but was it worth it?
And later, actress Eva Mendes opens up about her marriage and an interesting agreement she has made with her hubby, Ryan Gosling.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Matt Doolittle. Mitch English will be joining us a little later.
You might be happy to know this because I know you're a movie buff, but VHS tapes are making a comeback.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What are you playing them on?
Well, VCRs, if you can find
Yes.
one. There's a couple of guys who've started their own video store collections in their basements. And it's kind of an homage to, of course, the old Blockbuster stores and whatnot. But they found that there's some sort of nostalgia to it, and they love it. And one guy's inspired a number of other people to create their own basement video type stores. And searching for the videos has been kind of a bit of a scavenger hunt because they're going to thrift stores and eBay and wherever they can go to find them, along with trying to track down working VCRs.
Yeah, I mean, they could have come by my house. My dad passed. We had 8 for some reason sitting around. I like that idea, and it's old man yelling at the cloud, but I miss the physical copies of things. Granted, it's much easier to take my phone on the plane and watch something that's been downloaded than hauling a DVD case on there.
There is a convenience to that.
Yeah, but the nostalgia of reading the back of the box and just that smell of the videotape, and everybody that grew up in the 90s or the 80s remembers going to the video store, and just that was an event on its own. Not even getting home and watching it, just going there and roaming aimlessly. And
you think about the artwork too that's attached to a lot of those video cases, even the DVD cases too, to a certain extent. But you think about Seinfeld episodes. Most of those in the early days, in those early seasons, they were going to the video store and looking for movies to rent. And now it's such a foreign concept to so many people. But there is a bit of a wonderful ritual to it all.
Well, there was that, what was it, the last Blockbuster that was in Portland that got all that attention, and people were making special trips up there just to go do it. It really was just a time. Time capsule in the country where we got to go to these places.
So if you are thinking about it, your best bet, they say, is to go to your local thrift stores to find used VHS tapes.
My buddy used to own a place at one of the local malls called Dickey's, and he just had walls and walls of VHSs that he was reselling. And when my dad passed, my dad, for whatever reason, had like 8 copies of Braveheart and all this. So I went up and donated them, but it was almost cool to walk through there and see my videos up on the wall and be like, hey, I remember that one, but you don't have anything to play on, and then some of the tapes would get messed up, and so I don't know how long that film would hold up, but it's a cool concept. I've seen those videos online. They'll do it with record shop stuff and everything like that.
Yeah,
too.
the one guy's kids doesn't realize that people don't have a VHS store in their basements. Like, he's so used to having his kids come down there and shop for movies and go through, like you'd mentioned, reading the back of the covers and finding just the perfect movie. And it's in their world, it's their experience.
It's that retro kick that we saw, this big swing where record players were a thing that kids in their teens wanted the record player or the CD player. They didn't want the download. They wanted that experience that their parents had.
Right, that sound and that feeling and having an album to hold.
A lot of it was a smell too. Video stores had an interesting smell.
You're right. See, proof that things always come back. It's very cyclical. A woman attending a party in Hawaii ended up learning the gender of her friend's baby in the most unusual way. The couple invited friends and family to watch them find out if their first child would be a boy or a girl. Guests gathered around as the couple lifted a barbell and dropped it on 2 bags below, each containing a colored powder indicating the baby's sex. Well, as the weight hit the bags, a spray of blue powder comes bursting out toward the crowd. Unfortunately, one guest was in the direct line of the reveal and was covered head to toe in blue powder. She quickly started wiping away the powder while laughing at the moment. At least she had a good sense of humor.
Good sense of humor, and this doesn't seem like a gender reveal that destroyed an entire community or caused problems. Or
Yeah,
I mean, I think the spray of the blue powder is probably the safest thing we've seen from
True.
these.
This is true.
Because some of those things just get out of hand.
I'm just wondering, like, at what point did the gender reveal party become the trendy thing to do, and how soon can it go away?
Instagram.
Not soon enough.
It's an
Yes, you're right.
Instagram thing.
Instagram.
Well, a woman spent about $1,000 on travel to take her dog on a month-long holiday around Italy, and she says it was totally worth it. Catherine Sophie didn't want to leave her beloved 3-year-old Maltese named Teddy behind, so she decided to bring him along as her travel companion, no matter the cost. The actress travels from her home in Glasgow to London with her pup frequently and knew Teddy could handle the journey. So the 23-year-old jetted off to Italy with Teddy tucked away under her seat, but the trip got a little more complicated and expensive on the return home. Catherine couldn't find a direct flight, so she opted to take a plane, a bus, a boat, and a car back home. In the end, Catherine says she spent an extra $1,000 bringing Teddy along on her holiday, and it was worth every penny.
Oh, well, see, if you need your pet as your travel companion,
Yeah.
I guess the question is, like, restaurants and hotels, you've got to find something that's pet friendly.
Yeah, and what I noticed in Europe, most of them were. I mean, a couple of these places, they let the street dogs and cats roam in. They weren't even somebody's pet. They just let them come
Right.
in. They're a little more open to that than we are here.
Yeah.
They don't have the big regulations on it. And they're not worried about them biting anybody or anything like that. We had a cat in Santorini that came over, and the people, they said, don't feed them, they'll start messing with it. The people behind us fed them. This cat started crawling on their table, and they're like, okay, we'll handle him, handle him. Like, we feed them after hours, so they didn't care, but I was like, yeah, that's why you don't feed them.
It's like once you open that door, you've got a dining companion for life.
Yeah, but if you need your companion on a trip, I mean, we were joking, we're like, we
Yeah.
wish we had our cat on our cruise and could just hang out in there.
That's the hard part, I think, when you've got pets, taking time off, going on vacation. You can't always bring the pets with you.
Yeah.
Most of the time you can't. But it's that moment you get back home and it's sort of like, I'm back home.
Fluffy thing that knows me.
Yes, exactly. Actress Eva Mendes is opening up about the no-brainer decision she made to put her acting career on hold after becoming a mother. The 50-year-old Hitch star hasn't acted in more than a decade since meeting her longtime partner Ryan Gosling. The two met on the set of the 2012 movie The Place Beyond the Pines. Mendes and Gosling are parents to 2 daughters. Eva said it was an unspoken agreement the couple had. Ryan would continue to work and she would stay at home with the kids. And she knows firsthand how much work it takes to be a stay-at-home parent. It's a job that fills every hour of every day. Ava says she and Gosling strike a great balance when it comes to parenting while Ryan is on location shooting movies.
I think that's how you keep a marriage in Hollywood together.
I think you're right.
When you're traveling, one spouse has to travel all over the world to do the movie, then go back to do the press, and then all these things. I think we've kind of seen that with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, where we really haven't seen her
That's true.
jump in a movie project in a while. And I think also you have to look at the two parents and go, which one's more famous and popular in the relationship?
Yes, who's guaranteed to bring in more money.
Exactly. I think that's one of those things where you go, hey, you go work, I'll stay home.
And if I remember correctly, she was married to Bradley Cooper for a hot second.
Yes.
And then that sort of went Splitsville for no apparent reason.
And this is one of those like Hollywood relationships where I want to see them keep going.
Yes.
Like if they break up, I don't know them at all, but you just go, oh, come on.
Yeah, I know, right. And they just recently moved out of Los Angeles, out of the city, out of the showbiz environment so that their kids could have a more normal upbringing.
Well, he's one of the most well-known stars in the world right now, especially since Barbie. His star went through the roof. So, I mean, I could see why she'd be like, I'm going to stay home.
Yeah.
A classic Radio Flyer red wagon, the size of an SUV, is up for auction. Judy Foster said she decided to sell the unique car after the death of her husband. He designed the car using the chassis of a 1976 Mazda pickup truck to create the Radio Flyer car about 14 years ago.
Fun.
Judy says she'll miss it and the fun of driving it, adding that it's fun to take somebody for a ride and seeing others' unique reaction to the unique ride. The listing states the vehicle is street legal.
Okay.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I like these little concept cars. Sometimes you see it and you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
riding in that, or especially if it's a unique an experience for people.
Sure.
They grew up in a regular Radio Flyer, and they
Right.
now get to drive in one, so they feel like an adult or something when they're doing it. Like
course.
I've gotten to ride around in a bunch of the Knight Rider cars.
Oh.
That's a unique experience.
bet.
Some of them not so safe, but it's 85 Trans Am. What do you expect?
Well, I suppose when you think of concept car, it's not technically built for safety.
It's street legal.
It's street
it's
legal.
like when you buy a NASCAR and you put blinkers on it, it becomes street legal.
Right.
I've ridden in that too. You want some looks? Go down the street in a fully running NASCAR.
Does it have a seat belt and windshield wipers?
I mean, it's got, you have to do the seat belt, you have to do the, it's already got the harness. You've got to do wipers, and you've got to do all the lights and mirrors
and the
on
side
it.
mirrors, yep,
So
to
as long
make
as you
it-
get it up to par, you can drive it down to 7-Eleven.
We have a street legal golf cart. It's actually a low powered vevehicle,
Oh.
but you also have to have a bright orange triangle on the back.
Yes, I've seen those.
So you're legit on the street.
More flash right after this.
Winter can be difficult for many people, but there are things we can do to counter the gray days and early darkness. In her new book titled Turn to the Sun, author Brittany Gowen gives some practical advice on how to look to nature, yes, even in winter, to help relieve some of that stress and anxiety. Brittany, welcome to Daily Flash.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
You say it's important to find unique green spaces anywhere and anytime. Please explain.
Yeah, I think that many times we can think that we need to be in an expansive landscape to connect to nature. And I think that we can also connect to small pockets of nature, whether it is a planter near a grocery store or in city life, maybe you see plants in a window. And I think that when we connect to nature in different ways, it allows us to bring nature into our daily lives and not just have it be something that we connect to at certain times. So I think that is just a nice reminder that we can always have nature close, and we just have to look for it in different ways. And maybe it's in your houseplants as well.
How can we use nature for stress management?
Yeah, I think that stress tends to stick around when we ruminate, and when everyone's felt this, when you have something maybe that's gone wrong or something that's frustrating, and we tend to create this like mental tape that's negative and is kind of hard to break. But when we're in nature and you're spending time with greenery, studies show that we tend to have less rumination. We're able to stay present longer. So that's something that I think is great. It's one of my favorite things related to how we can release stress with nature. And it just has allowed going outside, being in nature, and kind of creating that pause. And I think that's what nature does. It interrupts our thought processes and lets us have a positive mindset.
Well, even the cover of your book, Brittany, is just sort of, I get the,
Thank you. I was hoping so.
Yeah. Tell us about the relationship between nature and environmental awareness.
Yeah, I think that many times what we care about, we tend to want to protect. And I think when we're creating a conscious connection with nature that allows us to have it in our daily lives, it allows us to increase our compassion, our empathy, and reminds us that we're a part of a bigger ecosystem. I know from being in city life, we can get caught up with our man-made world. And if you're not looking for nature, it can feel very distant. So staying connected to nature is a way that I think we can work on protecting our environment, increasing that awareness.
I think everybody talks about meditation, and so many people think, okay, I'll make it a part of my everyday life, but it becomes a little bit too much. So this might be an easy way to incorporate that into your world, if only maybe for 5 minutes a day.
Yes, and that's what I believe in, especially, in city life, like things are rushed. And I think that if you can just take a moment to reconnect with yourself, which is one of the biggest things, and connect with nature and have those moments where you're just coming back to your present moment, you're coming back to maybe what is important to you. And nature, I really do believe, can be that resource.
Very true. Well, Brittany, some great stuff. The book is beautiful. Turn to the Sun, your guide to release stress and cultivate better health through nature. It's great. It's a wonderful read. I think it would be a great bedside table book, too, because you could just keep it right there.
Yes, that was part of my goal, actually. So,
well, you did well, Brittany. Thank you. For more information
Thank you.
or how to get a copy of Brittany's book, Turn to the Sun, please visit BrittanyGowen.com. Mitch.
Thank you, AJ. Something that we all need, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's this. Well, if you are struggling with inflation and higher interest rates, don't worry, maybe you actually could put your feet to work. There's a recent survey released by Fetish Site, I've been told. Fun with Feet revealed that models with square feet are earning about $45,000 a year. And those with Greek feet, where the second toe is longer than the rest, could be earning about 43,000 bucks. All right, do you have a Roman feet, or a foot rather? That's where the first 3 toes are of equal length. You could be a top earner on the website because those kinds of feet are so rare.
What?
And if you have the highly common Egyptian foot with a tall, big toe, you might be wasting your time because ain't nobody wants to see your feet. Get that toe jam out. Yeah. And if you got hair growing on your feet, forget it. That's where 96% of Fun with Feet's users draw the line. And why is our camera guys all looking down on that? Looking at feet. There's people that like feet, man. I don't get it. Most people have 2 of them. You can look at your own, but there are people that really fancy those, I guess is the best way to say
I can't
it.
tell you the number of times I've gotten emails from viewers asking if they can send me a pair of shoes, and if I accept, will I take a picture wearing the shoes? It's just the most. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Is there money involved?
Well, clearly there is, and I guess on the OnlyFans site, there's plenty of people that's all they do. They just show their feet.
All right, we're not going to show your feet. You don't have open toe, but is your second toe bigger?
My second toe is. Yes.
Mine is too. That I'm thinking. I don't sit there and stare. Everybody's like looking right now.
Yeah.
And hey, look, there's people that I guess that's why they call them fetishes. They like to hone in on that sort of thing, and all they're just showing the feet. And to me, the feet are the most disgusting thing in the world. And, right? I mean, because it's like all the stuff, and like when they get all black and dirty and everything. Here's the thing, what people don't realize how important, I'm kind of going down a different avenue here, how important it is that there's medicine that your body absorbs, because your feet are always so sweaty. Like you can put the medicine on your feet and it'll get into your body quicker. Essential oils are that way as well. So I think people forget how important the feet are. I don't think about the feet that much. Maybe that's why. And maybe I don't want to if I'm...
Don't you wonder?
There's people out there who really wants it.
The thought always crosses my mind, like, how does one stumble into a fetish like this?
Yeah.
Do they learn it? Do they hear about it and think, oh, that sounds interesting? Or is it really something that's innate in them that they're just obsessed with feet?
I'm afraid to actually start because I'm like, and I might be a foot guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Here's the thing. I've taken my own foot out of my mouth many a time.
Yeah, this is true.
So,
I think we both have on very many occasions.
So if that's a fetish, then I should be making 45 grand extra. All right, what do you think? Don't send us your feet, and don't ask to see Jackson's feet either. But drop us an email, flash@dailyflashshow.com. Welcome back to The Big Show. Andrea and Mitch hanging out with you. An apple a day is no longer the preferred fruit for deterring a trip to the doctor's office.
No.
The New Zealand scientist says that eating a kiwi a day can actually boost your mood in just 4 days. Experts say the fuzzy fruits are loaded with vitamin C, or down there they say vitamin C. A team of Kiwis conducted a study, 155 adults. Researchers found that both the vitamin C group and the kiwi eaters group actually reported improved moods, but only the kiwi group said that they felt an increased self-perceived success. Scientists chalked up these mental health benefits to the rich vitamin content that the fruit has, and it's cool looking too. And I love kiwi.
I like the kiwi too.
I can eat it.
Golly.
And if you have, it's soft. It's softer too. So if you don't want to chomp down on an apple, why not
Now,
do that?
do you eat the fuzzy skin?
I guess I do. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess I do. Am I not supposed to?
No, I
Please tell
think
me.
you can. I think, there are people that like to eat the whole apple, core included, and some people like to eat lemons with the peel. I'm always fascinated by that.
Those are the weird people. I'm sorry, they're weird.
It's okay. Many of us are looking for ways to stop using single-use plastics like Ziploc bags in an effort to help the environment. Well, contrary to popular belief, these bags can actually be reused, and according to Ziploc, they can be reused several times.
Cool.
Experts say you should always clean the bags before reusing them. You can try hand washing them with soap and then air drying them. Any bag that had raw meat, fish, eggs, anything spoiled or allergy related should never be reused. In layman's terms, don't be an idiot. There is no limit to how many times a Ziploc baggie can be used, but storing dry foods and foods that are easy to clean and rinse will be the key to the bag lasting you longer.
So I could see all these drug dealers saying, hey, you know what? We can cut off our bottom line by reusing the bag. Like they're going to sell it. And they're going, hey man, I'm going to need a bag back. Like when you give Tupperware away. I'm gonna need that bag back.
Is
man.
it like a can deposit?
Yeah.
I'll give you 5 cents back on your heroin
I
deal.
love that
and
idea.
Get the bag back.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's find out. Is it true? Maddie, what do we got
goodness.
going on, buddy?
Well, guys, the Grammys were a few weeks ago, and it's a night for the stars of the singing world to get their shiny trophies. And one celeb in particular had a first when Miley Cyrus won her first Grammy. Yay! Congrats, Miley, from baby Dolly Parton in my eyes. But a video popped up online that had us thinking, is it true she might be in a little bit of danger for the extra security? If you notice her security guard there on her right, the video was flipped so you can get a better look at the way it's posed, but his hand looks like it doesn't move. He's got it in the spot of where you would normally hold a gun if you're not planning to shoot but have it triggered. And then they're also saying the position of his arm looks like it might have, it's a coat over his other arm or it's an extender where his actual arm is up in the sleeve.
Like he's trying to
And they're saying
hide a
how
weapon?
calm he looks, and they're just saying it might be a little different, so it may be a modified umbrella, though it was raining that night, so all the celebs had umbrellas. But they're just wondering, is this a little extra security for her? Because who knows, she may be in a little bit of trouble, and with all the crazies out there, and Taylor Swift just had a guy arrested again for like the 4th or 5th time for stalking, so is it true she's got a revealed bodyguard with her?
I think it's an umbrella. I think because the event, he would have to have planned it out because it was raining that night. So I say it's just an umbrella. I say it's not a gun.
Okay, I'm gonna go fake
You'll
arm.
go?
I'll go fake arm, umbrella as a gun.
All right, Maddie?
Well, the jury is still out. I think it may be a little bit of both. I think it was some type of tactical thing where they made it work out because they've had a lot of these, the crazies going after a lot of the music celebrities lately. So I think that, especially in an open environment with that, like that, where there is a lot of security, but there's a lot of fans in the area. All the stuff Taylor Swift's been going through, she has an army of security guards that go with her. If you've seen her at all the football games and everything, there's 4 or 5 guys that are constantly hovering around them because they are so influential. They're worth so much money, and they don't want another unfortunate like John Lennon type situation to ever happen again. So I think they're paying top dollar for a lot of these security efforts.
You mentioned Selena, who, by the way, the shooter that used to be a part of her fan club is actually getting out soon.
Getting paroled, right?
Getting paroled.
Selena, yeah. So I think they're just being careful, and I mean, if they can afford it, and they're they're insurable assets for quite frankly. So the studios and everything are saying, hey, we're going to give you extra security, especially when you're that high level.
Mark David Chapman, the guy who shot and killed John Lennon. I don't know if you saw the documentary. This recent came out on Netflix. You would think, granted it was a long time ago, back in the '80s. John Lennon was just walking on the street, and he had just left the recording studio and got out of his limo. He went from his limo to his right there in the front door, and that's when it all happened. So I could see, and you can understand the security, but a lot of those. They're trained. That's their job, full-time job. They probably are packing heat.
Yeah.
I don't think that umbrella was actually a gun.
But if it wasn't, it's a very cool idea.
It actually is neat, yeah. It's like James Bond.
To be discreet. Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
very 007, if you're trying to be discreet. But obviously, if there was any sort of, I would think they might have to disclose that.
It seemed like they would have to. Yeah, I mean, especially for the Grammys, if they're saying, listen, there's a no-weapon policy here altogether, bodyguard or not, you're going to have to be able to do it. And if we learned anything from Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner, haven't we learned anything at all? You should fall in love with the person you're
Can we talk about how
protecting.
fabulous her hair was, Miley Cyrus? She had that
she
great
did do it.
80s dynasty look. I loved it.
And Matt said, because her godmother is Dolly Parton. She had the big old hair.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Matt Doolittle. Mitch English will be joining us just a little later right here on a Daily Flash. This was a big story last year, and I don't know if you've had to buy any concert tickets or anything in the last couple years, and the price has gone through the roof.
Crazy.
So the Department of Justice is finally suing Ticketmaster and Live Nation over all this. They're saying they've got control of a whole 70% of the market for ticket sales.
Bit of a monopoly,
They
yes.
they have these deals with all of the venues where they can't get out of them. They locked them into that. So your bigger sporting venues, your bigger concert venues, they want to try to sell them different. The artists want to sell them different. different,
Right.
and they can't. So obviously this kicked off a lot with Taylor Swift's Eras concert when people were paying a lot of money. People were actually taking trips to France to go see her because it was cheaper to buy tickets and a plane trip to Europe than it was to see her in the States. Yes.
Oh my
A lot of
gosh.
people were doing that. Now they're saying it kicked up because of the pandemic. Obviously they're trying to recoup their losses from the year and a half where they couldn't do anything. But listen to this. Live Nation reported last month that worldwide ticket sales for the top 100 tours in 23 jumped 46% compared to the previous year, and which was 20% the year before. And the DOJ is finally seeing these numbers and they're going, this doesn't make any sense. Service fee on top of a charge fee on top of a regulation fee. It doesn't make any sense.
Then there's a transfer fee.
Yep.
And then if it doesn't get into your Apple Wallet or whatever you use for your phone, there's an extra fee to print it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
They just
never
feed
ending.
the crazy. I mean, and a lot of other companies did this and that were affected. I just had to have a rental car over the weekend, and I got hit with an extra $136 when I got done. And I go, what is this? And he hit me up with a charge that he couldn't explain. And it was $55 for like a service fee charge from the car rental place. I'm like, what does that even mean? He goes, oh, I'm not really sure. You have to call back tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't even.
Like you'll actually get someone on the phone to explain that to you.
he couldn't explain it. And when you look at these fees for the concert venue, it's like, I'm just going to the concert.
Yeah, it frustrates me that you can't actually go to the physical stadium or arena where you want to see the show and buy a ticket from them. You have to buy it from a third-party vendor that is managing all of these tickets. And then if you want to, buy or sell it, you've got to go through that same vendor in order to do the same thing.
What I know a lot of places were doing, and we had a local radio station that did this, is you could go to a different venue, like a bar that they were promoting at, and you could buy it with cash. But you had to buy it with cash from them. You couldn't, so there was no electronic trail, so that the venue could pick it up on it, and they put it as a promotional giveaway, but you were actually paying for it.
We were looking at tickets just to see what they would cost for, the hockey playoffs and the NBA basketball semifinals and finals. It is ridiculous that a nosebleed seat will cost you $1,500 a ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, how is that possible?
It makes no sense, and it's not like you're getting any extra venue stuff.
No, and it's not like you're getting floor seats. You're out in Timbuktu trying to watch the game, and you just dropped $1,500 on a ticket.
So I'm hoping that this kind of brings those down, but they'll try to break it up, and then
Of course.
I don't know. Well, a woman attending a party in Hawaii ended up learning the gender of her friend's baby in a most unusual way. The couple invited friends and family to watch them find out if their first child would be a boy or a girl. Guests gathered around as the couple lifted a barbell and dropped it onto bags below, each containing a colored powder indicating the baby's sex. As the weight hit the bags, a spray of blue powder comes out, bursting out towards the crowd. Unfortunately, one of the guests was hit directly. It was in the line of it and was hit in the face with the powder. She quickly started wiping it away and the powder while laughing at the moment. I mean, this is one of the most injury prone of these baby reveals. I mean, they had a plane crash during one of these.
Right, and then a fire that basically destroyed a quarter of the desert Southwest. I don't know about these gender reveal parties. Can we put the brakes on those?
Just to do the picture at Disney with the thing, or be like, hey, it's a Mickey or a Minnie. Like, I mean, we're planning on having kids, and I'm like, we're not doing anything crazy like this.
I got to tell you, Matt, if you have a gender reveal party, I'm not coming.
That's fine, because I won't be there either. I'm like, babe,
won't be there.
babe, this is all you. You figure it out. Just call me and tell me what color
not
Jordans
happening.
to get. I don't
Not
care.
happening. I'm happy to send you a baby gift, but I will not be a part
No,
of
that's
the
fine,
gender
and I don't want to be invited to them. Don't send me. I don't go to these things.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Although the funny ones are when the wrestlers reveal them. That's pretty funny.
Okay. And what about the 1-year-old birthday party? That's a discussion for a whole other time. but-
More Flash right after this. Welcome back to the Daily Flash. I'm Matt Doolittle. Well, it's time to get on the scene. This week, Doreen is chatting with 80s pop star Howard Jones, and things can only get better. It's time to get on the scene with Doreen.
Hi guys! This week on The Scene with Doreen, I got to catch up with Howard Jones, 80s synth pop, new wave, electronic music superstar. We sit down to talk about his upcoming summer tour and so much more. Check it out. Congratulations on just celebrating the 40th anniversary of your debut single, New Song. That song really kick-started your entire journey. How did you celebrate the milestone?
For me, it's like going out and doing a tour. That's how I celebrate. I love what I do. I feel very fortunate about that. I got great enthusiasm for performing live and creating new music and doing what I do, and it doesn't seem to be diminishing.
Many people who credit you for ushering in an entirely new wave of sound and musical ideas. When you were writing and producing your music 40 years ago, did you ever think that one day you would be revered as a pioneer in electronic music?
No, I didn't. What I wanted to be thought well of was what the lyrics say. I really wasn't bothered about the pioneering stuff. It's the lyrics of Things Can Only Get Better. It's the lyrics of Like to Get to Know You Well, of New Song, What Is Love, that I would really like to be remembered for.
So what advice would you give the next class of aspiring musicians who want to blaze a musical path for others just like you did?
Think of it like this, that you've got this talent and you should be sharing it with everyone. Don't think about making a fortune or being famous or anything like that. But this is your talent and this is what the world needs. It needs to hear you express that as your individual self. Because we need you. We need artists. We need people to express those human emotions that we all feel. We need to be able to connect in that way. So please don't worry about size. Don't worry about what's traditionally called success. Just go for it.
You're getting back on the road in August and September of this year for a North American tour with ABC and Haircut 100. Great lineup, especially knowing that Haircut 100 will be playing North America for the first time in 40 years with the original band.
I'm very excited. It's such a classy lineup, and I think people are going to get a whole evening of amazing songs and playing and sounds, and so. We kind of waited quite a long time to put this team together, and honestly, it's getting such a ridiculous reaction. We're having to add shows all over the place because they're selling out so fast.
Wow, that's a nice problem to have. That's a very nice problem.
It is a nice problem to have. It really is a nice problem.
It was so great to talk with Howard Jones, and I can't wait to see what this musical genius can come up with next. If you want to check out our entire interview, visit right here. And for now, my name is Doreen Taylor, and I'm here with The Scene with Doreen every week on the Daily Flash. See you next time.
During the spring and summer months, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is reminding veterans to prioritize their mental health.
During May, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is reminding veterans to prioritize their mental health.
VA wants vets to know that mental health treatment works and recovery is possible. This Mental Health Month, the Today I Am campaign, is showing veterans that they are not alone if they're experiencing mental health challenges, and that with treatment, a better life is possible.
VA offers many different kinds of help. Reaching out is the first step.
On the Today I Am campaign website, veterans and their loved ones can explore the real and inspiring mental health care stories of their peers, learn about available resources, and see for themselves how support and treatment have allowed veterans like them to heal.
To hear these veteran stories, go to maketheconnection.net/MHM.
Student loan debt has been a major point of contention, and joining us to talk about the very latest developments is Ayelet Sheffi. She's the senior economic policy reporter for Business Insider. Ayelet, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
So what's the current state of student loans?
payments. Federal student loan payments resumed in October after an over 3-year pause on payments, and this has meant that a lot of borrowers have had to incorporate an extra monthly bill into their budget. We've seen the education department and student loan servicers struggling to manage this transition back into repayment. We've seen borrowers getting late billing statements, incorrect billing statements. So this is something that the education department and servicers are working to balance as borrowers are once again, having this extra bill in their monthly budgets.
And what about the colleges reducing the rates they charge to get so many of these students in debt?
Right. So this is definitely something that a lot of lawmakers and the education department have on their radar, is working to make these student loans more affordable because, as you said, it is such a burden for borrowers. So we're seeing a couple efforts from the education department side of things. They're working to make a new SAVE income-driven repayment plan. And this is something that they've implemented over the summer, and they're carrying out different sorts of provisions over the course of the year. And that includes making lower monthly payments for borrowers, along with shortening the timeline for some of these borrowers to get student loan forgiveness. And colleges are certainly also taking this issue into their own hands by implementing more grants and shifting away from student loans completely. So we see a lot of efforts both on the college level and on the federal level to work to make higher education more affordable. But of course, it'll take time, and it does depend on resources from Congress, just in terms of getting more funding for servicers and the education department to make things possible.
One last quick question for you. On a large scale, what's the impact of student loan debt on the economy?
So I think it's at this point, we're still trying to figure out what the impact of the student loan resumption is having, overall on the economy. But what we've seen is a bit of drawback in consumer spending. So a lot of retailers have expressed concern that, they're not getting the same amount of investment that they were during the student loan payment pause. So it's definitely something that I know a lot of economists are hoping to follow, as this student loan payment resumption is going into effect. And, of course, on the other side of things, the student loan payment pause has been, people are saying it has been an economic stimulus. So I think we're just going to have to wait and see, how the resumption is playing out.
Ayelet Sheffi, thank you so much. For more information on student loans, head over to businessinsider.com.
No doubt. Researchers have confirmed what most of us already know. Those New Year's resolutions, well, they rarely stick. Here's lifestyle editor Joanne Butler. She's got some unique ways, all to keep us motivated. Hey there, Joanne.
Oh, thanks for having me. Well, for me, it's all about creating a habit and doing something after I do something else. Like after I shower, I'm going to moisturize my skin, or after I have my first cup of coffee, I'm going to go for that walk. That just helps me create a routine and then actually stick to it. Of course, when I need a little more help than that, or just a friendly reminder, or even some inspiration, I leave myself love notes. So don't be afraid to leave a Post-it note everywhere. I love these Post-it super sticky notes because they stick everywhere. Shower doors, windows, walls, you name it. And they come in fun colors, and they're great for color coding tasks. And then these are a little bit bigger than traditional size. They're 4x6, so amazing for shopping lists and meal planning and homework, and just if you want to leave someone a note. And they also have an environmentally friendly option. These are made from 100% recycled paper. Even the packaging is recyclable, and they come in these pretty pastels too, which I just love for spring. They have some super organizational tips and tricks on their website too at postit.com and on their social accounts. So definitely follow them at Post-it. Next are beauty routines. I vowed to moisturize and take better care of my skin, which a lot of people have, but most don't realize that their scalp is skin too, and that needs to be taken care of as well, especially this time of year when we bundle up in hats. All that excess sweat and irritation gets built up in there, and it makes you more susceptible to dandruff symptoms. So you need the right shampoo, and this is my go-to to alleviate this uncomfortable feeling. It's Head & Shoulders Bare. It goes really deep to fight dandruff at the source and just refreshes your scalp. And it only has 9 ingredients, including the active ZPT, clinically proven to fight dandruff, and it's free from sulfates, silicones, and dyes. There's Bare Pure Clean for oily hair and scalps, and Bare Soothing Hydration for drier. It's just $9.99 online and in store at Walmart. So It's a great deal. Now, last but not least, daylight saving is the annual reminder to make sure all of the important things around your house are in check and working, especially the ones that keep us safe, like smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. Well, Kidde is a fabulous brand that has made this a whole lot easier this year. Instead of replacing the batteries in your smoke and or carbon monoxide alarms, you can install this one that has a built-in battery that lasts for 10 years. It's their smoke and carbon monoxide alarm smart features. It has a built-in lithium backup battery. It helps keep your family safe even when the power goes out. Plus, you can easily check it through the Kidde Home Safe app when you're not home. It'll even give you urgent notifications if smoke or carbon monoxide is detected. So just love this. You can get it right at kidde.com, Amazon, and at the Home Depot. Really a game changer. And there you have it, my spring lifestyle essentials to help you stick to those resolutions and regimens that you made for yourself.
Okay, a relationship expert has come forward to say, be wary dating an only child.
And why is such?
Because they say they tend not to prioritize other people because, you know, they sort of, the world revolves around them, so to speak. So there are certain red flags to look out for if they're not making you a number one priority in your life. Maybe that's not a good thing. Oh, is Matt Doolittle an only child?
I'm a middle child.
You're a middle child.
KSA Entertainment is proud to produce and provide a robust collection of entertaining, uplifting, and timely content to broadcast, cable, and streaming platforms in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. KSA Entertainment. On point, on air. KSA Entertainment is proud to produce and provide a robust collection of entertaining, uplifting, and timely content to broadcast, cable, and streaming platforms in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. KSA Entertainment. On point, on air.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash.
You know, we usually generally kind of like to tell you what's going on. I don't know if you're hinted around, but Maddie's been traveling. He's a worldwide traveler today. Back from south.
We did a quick little trip to Mexico for the family. Well, my soon-to-be family. It's my fiance's brother, sister, her 2 nephews, all of us 6 in small little cabins with the door in between, all that.
Sounds fun.
But so I found out something about this family.
Oh boy.
We did the buffet eating as one does on a cruise because just glutton everything, you know, drink, eat, whatever. And I got shamed for mixing my meats on my plate.
Like
just
chicken and steak.
Chicken, steak. You know, you just pile it on.
I wouldn't.
You got food shame.
I got food
not
shame.
put up with that. I wouldn't. Listen, I'm telling you, I've run.
It was.
Don't do it.
I've put too much money into it already. But they all 5 of them all had their meats separate on different plates, and I'm over there with just a pile. And they were like, "You don't do that." I'm like, "No."
But okay, now you were with a family, so I can understand. Like, okay, you're the one that does something different because you're the odd one, and I guess it shows you the dynamics of happening in a family, just traditions. That's how it's done, so that's how you think it's supposed to be.
But Leah's never said anything to me like that.
Oh, so she does she do that?
She does it, but she never shamed me over it. Her sister was like, "What, you mix all those together?" And her brother's like, "Yeah, you do that." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Well, they're gonna make you feel like you're not, good enough. And number one, that's maybe the first step to be able to do that. So keep that in mind.
I never wanted the sauce to touch my spaghetti when I was about 7, but I've since grown up a little bit more, and I now combine the sauce with the spaghetti.
I do the whole, just mix everything together.
I don't like anything. I mean, I can handle it, touch it. I do not let it touch. I try not to let it touch, but I mean, it's not like I can't eat it if it does, by all means.
But I will do my salad on a separate plate. I will not mix that on the same plate with the meat.
Well, that's tough because the meat's warm and you want your salad to stay cool.
And I don't want the dressing getting into it. But they did that, and I did not shame them. So.
I think that's the question. Like, why shame you for that?
They just started staring at me. I'm like, what happened? Plus, I'm half drunk.
You should pick up the plate and just throw it out. That'd have been awesome.
That would have been a great start to the
Here you go. Take your meat.
Thank you all for spending time with us.
Yes. For more information on anything you've seen on the show, just head to our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Before we leave, here are some of the folks that make our show great.
Yes.
There we go. Y'all take care.
Bye,
We will see you when
everybody.
we look at you. Bye-bye, everybody.